If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Sunday morning. With us is Senator Tuberville, and he has a lot to report to the American people. Well, Senator, give us a report on, where do you want to start?
Well, first of all, our country's government is shut down, and that's a good thing in some ways, and it's a bad thing in some ways because some people are not getting paid. President Trump's trying to find a way to fund the military because we've been now shut down for going on 3 weeks, John, and that's all because the Democrats want to fund illegal immigrants in this country with health care. We cannot afford to do that, and American taxpayers don't. That's not their job to fund illegal health care. So we got a lot going. We voted twice this past week to open the government back up, but the Democrats voted it down. They want to spend $1.5 trillion more taxpayer dollars that we don't have. We're already $2 trillion over our budget every year that the American taxpayers send to Washington, D.C. to spend. So this place is out of control. President Trump's the only one up here trying to get it under control. He's got his hands full from foreign relations to shut down in the government to Democrats trying to do everything they possibly can to slow play all of his nominees. It's been a disaster other than what President Trump's been able to do basically by himself.
And, President Trump has done a phenomenal job. I can't believe the amount he has accomplished in 6, 7 months or 8 months. And what happens now with the last frontier? The last frontier looks like it's going to be Ukraine and Russia.
Right.
Wait,
right.
Any gut feeling what the heck is going on?
Well, first of all, just a little bit about what President Trump did over in Israel. He got the hostages out. He got the people back into the country that were still alive. Unfortunately, we're still missing some that didn't make it. They were brutalized by Hamas. A lot of that water's underneath the bridge now. That's all happened. Now Israel has got to figure out, what they want to do. But it's all happened because President Trump. There was, leadership has to start somewhere. We had none under the Biden administration, but President Trump stepped in and said, we're going to get this done. We're going to get the hostages home. And that was accomplished. Now we're on to Russia and Ukraine. That war needs to end. The problem is the Biden administration let Vladimir Putin have so much success in 2 years before President Trump got in that President Trump was basically, in football terms, he was down 35-0, and he's had to get everybody back on their feet, all the players back on their feet, and said, "Listen, we're going to get this thing over with." But again, Russia and Putin they have been winning this war pretty much the entire time, other than I'd say the first 3 or 4 months. But it's going to be hard. I mean, he's going to have to pull off another Israel-Hamas peace talks to get this done. But at the end of the day, the American taxpayer don't deserve to have to pay for another war, and especially in the eastern part of Europe. When Europe needs to take care of their own business, and NATO needs to jump in there, which they are. President Trump's forced their hand, and again, leadership like President Trump, you can't ever tell what's going to happen. But I'd bet all my chips on President Trump getting this thing over with.
I agree with you. I mean, he's been successful so far. We talked the other day. We talked about the Sharia law. Do you have any other gut feelings on that? Yeah,
it's out of control. We're seeing a huge wave of radical talk by the radical Islamic terrorists across this country. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, if you want to peacefully practice your religion in this country, John, that's fine. That's what this country is about. We have all kind of religions, but you have no right to violate our laws to come in and push your own religion. That's not acceptable of the American people and our culture and our Constitution. So, if you want to come here and go by your religion, fine. We don't want to hear about it. And then, I've got a Sharia-free American Act that would keep all foreign nationals advocating for Sharia law, which is basically death to America, to keep them totally out of our country. We don't want you here. If you want to preach death to America, do it somewhere else, but you're not going to do it within our borders. So that's called the Sharia-free American Act. We're putting it on the floor of the Senate here pretty soon. But, John, this is getting out of control. The way they treat women, the way they have marriages with 6-year-old kids. I mean, it's absolutely insane if we're going to allow this type of culture in our country, because we're a Judeo-Christian country. That's where we were built. That was the basics of everything that we've hung our hat on for years and years, and we're not going to change to some other religion that basically says death to our religions and our people in this country.
I agree with you 110%. I mean, the other there's going to be other big items that come in. Now, I understand there's 85 million green card holders in our country. Now, if they came in on false pretenses, originally when my grandfathers and my father came in to this country, they had to pledge allegiance to our country. And if they're against our country, what do we do? I mean, is that going to be a big controversy in the future?
It's going to be a huge controversy because, again, you've let the Democrats bring in all these people from all these Middle Eastern countries. Obama did it. Joe Biden did it. We have been overrun by situations that are out of control on the streets of especially the blue cities of New York and Chicago and Detroit. You got to be able to get along with each other. And for some reason, this group of people that go by Sharia law, they don't want to assimilate with Americans. They want to do their own thing, and that's not going to happen. We are all going to go by the constitutions and the same laws. You can have a different culture all you want, but we have to make sure we have people that love this country, here for the right reasons, and try to get along with each other. But the bill that I've got would deport anybody in the United States under false pretense. Okay, and so we've got to come up with a better immigration laws, but we know the difference between right and wrong. And this is good versus evil here. We're not going to let people come here that's going to preach evil and preach death to America, because this is the country that our forefathers built, and they didn't build it to be torn down by a group of people that should go back to their own country and be on their own culture if they want to preach that the different types of laws.
Senator Tuberville, thank you for coming on this Sunday morning and telling the American people what the heck is going on. And keep fighting for America, and we love you, and we'll see you again real soon.
Thank you. God bless you.
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.